everyone, and greetings from Radio Wasteland Records here in Midland, Michigan. It is time once again for our weekly check at the highlights of some of the new releases headed to an independent record store near you. Sorry we're running a little bit late with this update this week, but Record Store Day, Black Friday, and Small Business Saturday here at the store has kind of kept us hopping for the past couple of days. Hey, speaking of those two events, the usual thing that happens afterwards that everybody talks about is Cyber Monday, and it's a great chance for me to remind you that our brand new website is still up and running. You can go and check out all of the upcoming releases and all of the stuff that has been recently released on that website, and you can order also directly from that website and choose either to have the records shipped directly to you wherever you are, or have them picked up here in the store. So either way, it'll work cool for us. But check out our website when you get a chance. Head over to radiowastelandrecords.com and do some digging virtually through the crates on the website. But now, though, let's take a look at the upcoming releases for Friday, December 2nd. Holy cow, December 2nd already, 2022. On the new release front, well, new-ish release front, is something from a band who I had not heard of before, but I'm really digging the name, and listening to a sample online, I'm digging their music also. The band is called Illuminati Hotties, and the album is Let Me Do One More. Now, this was actually released last year, but according to Discogs, there's only been about 500 of this blue variant, 500 of that red and blue variant that look to be limited runs, and a couple of other color variants as well. This one looks like it's a wider release. That's why it's showing up on our distributors. And going back to Discogs once again, they describe the band as tenderpunk pioneers from Los Angeles. Our description for this album says that Do Me One More will scratch the unending itch of indie heads everywhere. So Let Me Do One More by the Illuminati Hotties on lime green vinyl lists for about $28. A trio of new Christmas albums headed your way also for the 2nd of December. Backstreet Boys are back with a very Backstreet Christmas. Did I say back enough in there as well? 30 years in the making. Our description says the Backstreet Boys are back. There it is again. With their first ever holiday album, A Very Backstreet Christmas. Features classics like I'll Be Home for Christmas, Last Christmas, Silent Night, and the future holiday mainstays called Christmas in New York Together and Happy Days. So the Backstreet Boys, Very Backstreet Christmas on black vinyl. Looks like it's listing for about $27. Another one that I would not have guessed, but we're getting anyhow, is the Hanson Brothers, or simply Hanson now, called Finally It's Christmas. Our description says this is the second Christmas album by the American pop group Hanson, and adds that several of the band's children also make appearances in some of the songs. So the Hanson Brothers, Hanson, Finally It's Christmas on green vinyl will list for about $25. And also in the unlikely neighborhood of Christmas album, here's one called December's Here by Newfound Glory. Our description says this one has 11 original Christmas songs, and adds that Newfound Glory presents a new classic album celebrating pop, punk, and the holidays. This one coming on pink vinyl, December's Here by Newfound Glory, will list for about $25. One live album coming from Cleopatra Records. This is the Gin Blossoms live in concert on purple marble vinyl. Our description says this is the first and only official live album from the alternative rock icons Gin Blossoms. This was recorded and mixed in late 2008 and features the founding Blossoms performing their best love compositions, including Follow You Down, Till I Hear From You, and many, many other favorites. So the Gin Blossoms live in concert on purple marble vinyl will list for about $28. Quite a few big box sets and compilations coming out on the 2nd as well, the biggest of which is Harvest, the 50th anniversary edition. This, of course, by Neil Young. Now, this is the only version of this one coming out, and it is a bit heavy. Our description says that fans of this classic record will receive a new glimpse into Harvest through 2 DVDs included in this box set. The first is Harvest Time, an unreleased 2-hour film shot during the making of Harvest, with footage from Neil Young's Harvest Barn sessions in Northern California, recording sessions in Nashville and as well in London. The second DVD is a film of the unreleased solo BBC concert recorded in 1971. So this big box set of Neil Young's Harvest, the 50th anniversary edition, will feature the original album on both vinyl and CD, as well as 3 studio outtakes on a compact disc, an unreleased live 1971 BBC solo performance on compact disc, LP, and DVD, as we'd mentioned. Also included in this package is a hardbound book, a fold-out poster, and the vinyl box set comes with a lithograph print as well. So all of this together, the 50th anniversary edition of Neil Young's Harvest, will come in at a list price of about $150. A couple of versions of Sail on Sailor by the Beach Boys also expected. The first is a double LP with a bonus 7-inch. Sail on Sailor collection celebrates the landmark 1972 albums Carl and the Passions and Holland. This set includes extensive liner notes and the original Mount Vernon and Fairway 7-inch EP from Holland, unavailable on vinyl since the 1970s. So the double LP and 1 7-inch version of Sail on Sailor by the Beach Boys will list for about $50, but there's also a super deluxe box set as well coming out. This one has 5 LPs plus the 7-inch. In addition to the double LP and 7-inch featured in the other version, this 5 LP set also comes with a 38-page book with extensive liner notes, rare photos, and more. It includes remastered versions of the original albums as well as a previously unreleased concert from Carnegie Hall recorded in 1972. So the super deluxe box set, 5 LPs plus that 7-inch of Sail on Sailor by the Beach Boys, comes in at a list price of about $180. We've also got a big box set of Lost Masters and Demos from Naz. Our description says that this is a long-lost collection of unreleased Naz studio recordings, created then by a burgeoning young songwriter and producer by the name of Todd Rundgren. Taken directly from the original master acetates, this box set contains the originally conceived 1968 rough mix of the Naz sophomore album Naz Naz, created by Rundgren as he begins to learn his production techniques that made him the highly acclaimed producer and artist that he is today. Also contains unreleased alternate mixes from the 1967-68 tracks, such as Hello It's Me, Open My Eyes, and many more not available anywhere else. This set also includes a full-color booklet featuring liner notes and rare photos. So there's 2 versions of this Naz, Lost Masters and Demos, each of them listing at about $150. We've got a colored vinyl version as well as a black vinyl version. So those 2 identical except for the color of the vinyl. So you Todd Rundgren and or Naz fans should check that one out. Here's one from Ultravox. This is Rage in Eden, the 40th anniversary, done on a half-speed master. So the double LP black version from Ultravox will list for about $32, and there is a deluxe edition as well. This one is a 4 LP edition that features the original album with bonus discs, including singles and B-sides released from the album, along with a newly remixed and previously unreleased concert recorded at Hammersmith in London from 1981. So the deluxe edition of Rage in Eden by Ultravox on colored vinyl will list for about $75. Here's a collection from blues great John Lee Hooker. This is called Essential Works 1956 through 1962. And this double LP set features 27 VJ titles that were the heart of the John Lee Hooker style, every one of them a blues diamond. So John Lee Hooker's Essential Works 1956 through 1962 lists for about $48. And I hate to follow up a blues legend with the Chipmunks, but you know, here we are. The Chipmunks' greatest hits also due for a reissue. Our description says this vinyl LP pressing of the hits collection from Alvin, Simon, and Theodore, with some help, of course, from David Seville, includes 4 songs from the trio's album of Beatles covers, as well as Alvin's harmonica, and of course, the holiday classic, the Chipmunks song, It's Christmas, Don't Be Late, plus much more. Coming from Curb Records, the Chipmunks' greatest hits will list for about $25. A couple of music on vinyl soundtracks also due for December 2nd, the first being Skyfall, the original soundtrack from the James Bond film. Limited edition, 10th anniversary, gatefold on silver colored vinyl. This one is a limited edition, as we mentioned, of 1,500 individually numbered copies and comes with a poster and 2 printed inner sleeves as well as a 4-page booklet. So the music on vinyl double LP edition of Skyfall, the soundtrack, lists for about $51. We're also seeing a reissue of the Titanic soundtrack from Music on Vinyl. This is a 25th anniversary reissue of the soundtrack. Our description says it's one of 7,500 individually numbered copies, and they describe the vinyl color as smoke colored vinyl, and this also includes an 8-page booklet, an extra large fold-out poster, and a print replica of a historical newspaper front page about the Titanic sinking. So the music on vinyl reissue of the Titanic original soundtrack will list for about $46. And there's no indication in our description whether or not that poster they're including is actually large enough to hold both Jack and Rose. On to the reissue front for December 2nd, we've got a recent release that's getting a deluxe edition reissue. This is Brandi Carlile's In These Silent Days. Again, this is a deluxe edition called In the Canyon Haze. Our description says that in this new version, you can hear the singer-songwriter team with her wife, Catherine Carlile, on a new version of You and Me on the Rock. So this new edition of In These Silent Days, In the Canyon Haze from Brandi Carlile will list for about $40. Here's another music on vinyl release coming from Sugar Ray. This is Floored on green vinyl. This was Sugar Ray's second studio album, originally released in 1997. Our description says that this is a limited edition of 2,000 individually numbered copies on translucent green vinyl and includes an insert. So Floored by Sugar Ray, coming from Music on Vinyl on green vinyl, will list for about $34. Here's a reissue of Carly Simon's No Secrets. Originally released in 1972, this was Simon's major commercial breakthrough. The album spent 5 weeks at the #1 spot on the Billboard 200 chart and quickly went gold, as did its single, You're So Vain. So 2 versions of Carly Simon's No Secret being reissued, one on clear blue vinyl and the other on pink vinyl. Both of those versions will list for about $37. Here's one from Cleopatra and Purple Pyramid. It is Black Oak, Arkansas, and their X-rated album. Our description says this is a red vinyl reissue of the rowdy 1975 studio album by the bad boys of Southern rock, Black Oak, Arkansas. So as we mentioned, this one coming on red vinyl, X-rated by Black Oak, Arkansas, will list for about $28. A 50th anniversary edition of Garcia by Jerry Garcia. Our description says, expanding on Garcia's first solo release, this double LP edition features outtakes from the original sessions on sides 3 and 4. This limited edition double LP on 180-gram gold nugget vinyl includes liner notes and an essay by David Frick. So Garcia's 50th anniversary on gold vinyl will list for about $40. Here's one from Johnny Winter, coming from Friday Music. This is the Progressive Blues Experiment. This was the debut album by American blues rock musician Johnny Winter. He recorded it in 1968. So the reissue of the Progressive Blues Experiment by Johnny Winter, coming on gold vinyl, will list for about $35. We're getting one other Queen reissue on December 2nd as well. This is a half-speed master of Sheer Heart Attack. This was Queen's third studio album, originally released in 1974, and features their first U.S. hit single, Killer Queen. This Queen reissue will list for about $30. We're also getting a trio of reissues from the Kinks as well, coming up on the 2nd. First being Misfits, a limited edition 180-gram blue-colored repressing of their 17th studio album, originally released in 1978. Misfits will list for about $35, but we're also getting a reissue of State of Confusion, originally released in 1983. This one coming on gold and blue-colored vinyl. This one will list for about $37. And finally, we're getting a double LP version on red, orange, and black of the Kinks album Phobia. This one was originally released in 1993 and was the band's 24th and final studio album. This one coming in a little bit thicker than the others with a list price of about $66. And finally this week, we've got a Michigan band getting a cool reissue. This is Evildoers Beware by the band Mustard Plug. Now, if you're not familiar with them, Mustard Plug is a ska punk band from Grand Rapids, Michigan, not too far here from the store. The band formed in the early 90s, but this album was originally released in 1997. Our description says this is a limited edition silver-colored vinyl pressing and celebrates the 25th anniversary of this classic album. And I did not know this, but it was originally produced by Bill Stevenson and Stephen Egerton of The Descendants. Our description goes on to say that this album combines ska and punk and defined the band's unique style. Evildoers Beware is considered to be an underground punk classic. Now, this album also has a song called Miss Michigan, and if you are, well, from Michigan, you probably realize the reference. If not, we'll let you guys look that up on your own. So this reissue of Mustard Plug's Evildoers Beware on silver vinyl will list for about $25. So that is a quick check of the highlights of some of the new releases headed to an independent record store near you for Friday, December 2nd. If you're local and you see something you'd like us to pre-order, just give us a shout here at the store. We'd be happy to do that for you. Or if you'd like, you can head over to our website at radiowastelandrecords.com and look through not only the full list of upcoming releases, but see the full offering of everything that is also currently available. And from there, you can place orders and have them shipped directly to you, or have it set for a pickup here at our store in Midland, Michigan. Either way works for us. So until next week, we will talk to you next time from Radio Wasteland Records. Thanks for being here. Our description goes on to say that the album combines skunk and... Our description goes on to say that this album combines ska and punk